Hey guys, we just got back from the Wine and Dine half marathon weekend, so we wanted to go ahead and do a little review of it. We'll talk about the Expo, talk about the races we ran, and our thoughts on them.
Let's go.
Yep, so we both did the challenge,
Yay!
Which is the 10K and the half, and then you get the challenge medal, which we'll show you in a bit. So first, we'll talk about the Expo, talk about packet pickup.
Yep. So we went to the Expo on Friday morning, and we got there right when it opened Friday. So it had been open the day before as well, because it always opens the day before the first race. So it opened Thursday. The Expo, as far as the layout, is the same as it's been for the past couple of races.
Yes, it's the, so the new arena building is where packet pickup is, as well as the Disney merchandise. I thought packet pickup was a breeze. We walked right up. There wasn't that many people.
Yeah, and they have set up a new computer printing station for waivers. It was different, I believe, than the last couple of races.
Yeah, before it was kind of just like organized chaos, but now there's like an actual queue.
They have more computers.
Yes, and what they didn't tell us, though, was that there was a whole other section for computers, like, around the corner. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, and there were, like, volunteers there waiting for people to come, but they never, sent anyone over.
Yeah, well, it wasn't too busy.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't, like, a big deal. We didn't wait, honestly.
So that is interesting. I didn't notice that, but they definitely have brought out more.
Yeah.
And we've always printed our waivers there. We've never had a problem with that. The only thing I could see that being a problem for is maybe when you get there the very first day and there's a ton of people in line, it would be slightly faster to have your waiver already printed. But we've never, ever had a problem.
No, even the time that I went, like, on the first day when they opened, I didn't have any sort of issue. So
I would
usually
stress
pretty
about
easy.
that, too. There's other things to stress about.
Yep. Then after you go and you get your bib and all of that stuff, which I'll actually pull off and... Whoops. I almost just fell. You can see this was the challenge bib. It's got the 2-course challenge on it, your number, and all that fun stuff. And then if you were perfect, because it was an anniversary, whether you ran the half or the challenge, your bib was red, and then it said perfect on it, which was pretty cool.
Pretty cool. They also were handing out the perfect gifts after packet pickup as well, which this year I believe we didn't get them because they're not perfect. Was a cutting board and I believe it was coasters and a cutting board. And a lot of people said they really liked them, so that was cool. The other thing we got with your registration, because this was an anniversary year for the Wine and Dine race, they like to give out these luggage tags at anniversary races, and we love this one. We only have 2 others. We have one from Princess Anniversary and one from the Disneyland Anniversary, and I love these like freebies that they give you. I guess
they're a cute little gift.
Not really free, included, but it was a surprise. You know, I think a lot of people weren't expecting to get them, even though they've done it before. I always forget about it, so it was nice.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's super cute. I don't ever actually put them on the luggage because we've had experience losing one. We
did lose one, so we had to eBay purchase the Disneyland one. So we do not put them on your luggage.
Yeah, and they're not like the sturdiest of luggage tags anyways. They do tend to get beat up. We had that experience as well.
Yes. So after the actual bib pickup, it funnels you into the official Disney merchandise area. They had a good bit of merch and like varied items.
This seemed, though, like it was scaled back from what some of the other races had been. There didn't seem to be as many aisles.
And there were some usual staples of items that they did not have. They had sold out of quite a bit by the time we got there, but there were some things that they just didn't make. Popular ones are the sweaty band headbands that have the race on them, and then the thicker, like, I think they're Bondi bands. I could be wrong about that name, but you know, the thicker headbands that a lot of guys will wear to catch like sweat and stuff with the branded race on them. They did not have those. There were a few other things that I saw people comment on that they were like, I always get one of these and they did not have it this year. And it wasn't that they sold out, they just didn't make them. So I think there's definitely maybe some brand partnerships that have ended and haven't been continued.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty interesting. There was a lot less choices, and also forgetting their Saturday when they opened, the Expo was Friday when they opened, sorry.
Yeah.
The Expo was super picked over already.
Yep. So there were a few things that we had actually really wanted to get that we weren't able to get this time, and we hadn't even considered that they would be sold out of these items because at past races they haven't been.
Yeah, and every once in a while we don't get something, but
it was a lot that we did not get.
So for instance, I'm a huge pin collector. You can see I've got some race pins up there, and there's 3 different drawers here filled with pins. And I usually get a couple of the pins from the races, depending on what the theme is, how much I like them. And they were sold out of all the pins except for the 5K, and they had one half marathon pin. It was the I Did It pin, and it was not very cool. I didn't get it.
Yeah, so the fact that all of the pins were gone was really surprising. We've experienced some of the pins being gone, especially if it's a super cute design. Every single pin was gone, which was unusual. And then one item that I was really looking forward to get was the metal Tervis water bottle. Mm-hmm. We really like the Tervis water bottles, and we've had some from prior races that we've just used so much that it was time to replace them. So we're good timing, race coming up. They were completely sold out, and to the point where I actually went and searched to double check that they made one. And they did. Yeah,
they did. I saw people with them throughout the weekend.
And I checked eBay and I checked some of those resale sites, and I haven't seen a lot on there. So I don't know if it was resellers who got them. I think maybe they just didn't make a lot.
It definitely seems like they scaled back the quantity, both in the diversity and the number that they're making everything. I don't know if just because they had too much stuff at the end. I know a lot of times this stuff ends up in Cast Connections or the warehouse stores, but still it kind of stinks for the people who were going to go and pay full price minus the AP, but
they
full
did
price
have
for
magnets.
The products.
We did get our magnets. And then they had a good amount of shirts and sweatshirts and stuff. In both male, female, they had I Did It themed ones for every race and for the challenge in male and female kind of styles. They had a lot of the generic RunDisney items as well. And they've done some new RunDisney designs, which are pretty cool. These are the magnets we got.
We were super prepared and had everything here and ready, as you can see. So we'll start the other way. We got 3 of the magnets. We have the regular, race-themed magnet. So you can see it's got the patriotic Mickey on there, and then Timon, Olaf, and which one of the 3 Caballeros is that?
Is it the green one or the red one?
It's the red one.
I believe the red one is not Jose.
Is it Carlos?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry if we're wrong.
This is the half marathon.
Yep.
Which we love this design so much. It really reflects the design that's on the shirt as well. I thought they did a great job with the patriotic Mickey.
Yes, this is probably one of the best themes that we've had for a race in a while.
Yeah,
I thought it was unique and it was cute.
And we'll go into this later on. They captured it really well with the characters and photo ops too.
And then we have the challenge, I Did It. You can see 3 Caballeros and 19.3 down there on the bottom.
Yep. And I love the font and stuff that they used for the 3 Caballeros stuff, including the shirt. It's very fiesta.
Yes.
Now, we didn't get the 10K. They were sold out of the 10K, so I'm not even quite sure what it looked like.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that one, though. It was Frozen themed.
Yeah.
So whatever. And then I did get a sweatshirt. I don't normally get clothing merch from the races, but I thought this was really cute. Mm-hmm. It's a nice material. It's a stretchy athletic material. I don't know if I would actually wear it running,
but it's pretty cozy.
But it's cozy,
and it's a good Florida sweatshirt. It's not too thick.
Yeah, but it's got 2 course challenge, 3 Caballeros in the corner there, and then it's got a hood, and on the back you see it has the 2 course challenge logo as well.
And it has the, basically the pyramid from the Mexico Pavilion.
Yep.
which is super cute. So I love that so much. And I didn't buy something for myself, mostly because I like that enough to where, like, we can share it.
Yep. So then we were able to also acquire quite a few of the pins.
Do you want to say how you got the pins?
Yeah, so...
Because we just said the Expo was sold out of pins.
Yes, after the half marathon, anything that doesn't get picked up at the end of the Expo goes back onto the shelves at the end of the race.
So what these pins are pins that people pre-ordered that weren't picked up.
Yep. And I was able to pretty much get everything I wanted because of this. So here we have the regular logo for it. It just says Wine and Dine, and it's got the cute Mickey on it. And then
the pass holder one, I think, is very cute. It has the Mickey with the apple pie, and then it is the Epcot ball.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. It kind of is more reflective of Wine and Dine as a whole rather than this year's theme. It was very cute.
Yeah.
And then we'll go 10K?
Sure.
So the only 10K pin I got was the replica metal one because I thought that was the coolest one.
They've gotten I say this every time we do a review, they've gotten so much better with the metal replica.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They used to be the worst. They looked so bad, and now they're genuinely cute.
What did it for me was when they made the ribbons look like the ribbons, because they used to be just weird. This is the half metal replica, and I'm not going to take it off, but what's cool about this one is it has like a spinner on it, same as there's a spinner on the metal.
We'll show you on the actual metal.
And then finally, the 2-course challenge is so adorable. It's the 3 caballeros, and then it has the dangles on the bottom for the race distances as well. So it has the 6.2, 13.1, and then 19.3 in the middle.
Yep. And then here is the regular half marathon logo pin. You can see the little Mickey there runs back and forth, or kind of side to side. But very cute.
I didn't know that these did that.
Yep.
And this is the 2-course challenge. I think this is Jose. I could be wrong. We could have him switched up, but he moves as well. And I didn't know they did that, so I'm very amused right now.
Yep. And then while we're at almost forgot the hat.
And then I think this is it's not the last piece of merchandise we got, but we also got the hat. I love the way they've been doing the hats with like the characters on them. It's very cute. It's a pretty color. The text and everything on the hat itself is really nice. And then I do like that it has the run your way around the world on the back.
Yeah, the only thing people haven't liked is that they're no longer like a running material.
But they're not like a regular cottony material. Like, I think it is.
No, they're still like a harder hat, though. I wouldn't run in it.
Yeah, it's not like a lightweight hat.
Yeah, but I like it. It's still a nice hat. And then the last thing I was able to get that we almost forgot about was the magic band. So we like the box probably more than anything for most of these. But you can see you have the different characters, the races on it. And then on the side says Disney Wine and Dine Half Marathon Weekend.
The side is my favorite part.
Yeah, and even I like the side of this where it's got that same logo written all over it. But then you have the actual magic band, and we'll take that out. It says celebrating 10 years on the actual band.
The Mickey is super cute on it.
Yep. So you got the patriotic Mickey going up that side, and then on the other side, you have the other race themes. So you have I think Carlos, Olaf, and Blue. And I just thought it was super cool, and I was super excited
it's a good
to get one.
Yep. It's funny, because way back when Magic Bands first came out and they did special ones, we thought buying special Magic Bands was so silly, and then they started doing them for races, and we were like, oh, sign us up.
Yeah, now we have quite a few. So now we'll go ahead and show you the shirts. We're actually wearing them.
We're wearing some, but we also brought...
hold some up for you.
Ones that we could hold up.
One thing that we should note is they changed the material. They're no longer the Champion brand shirts.
Yep.
And I think these are a little rougher, and I think the quality's honestly not as good.
Yeah, and there's not a brand or anything listed on them the way the Champion shirts used to say Champion on the top. So I don't know what kind of off-brand it is, but they are like very rough feeling.
Yeah, I probably won't be running in this very often.
Definitely not.
But here's the 10K. You can see it's got Olaf and Sven on it. It's a gray shirt I feel like there's almost always a gray shirt at most of the race weekends. Probably my least favorite of all three, to be honest.
It is my least favorite too, but I do like the different direction that I feel like they went with the shirts. They changed up the art and the font. And it's not just a slight change of
from year
last
to year.
year's.
That is true. And then the half marathon is my favorite of the designs.
Mine too.
It's this like nice royal blue color. First off, I don't have a race shirt in this color.
It's more of a turquoise blue. It's not quite a royal blue, I don't think.
Okay. But again, it's got the different font to it, and you have the little patriotic Mickey reaching up for the tree, and Chip and Dale are up there holding the apples away from him.
And then you have the 10-year anniversary there as well.
Yep, so very cute. Probably one of my favorite designs for a race shirt overall.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely a shame that it's not a comfortable shirt.
Yeah, and I love this design too. I'm not as crazy about the color of the shirt itself.
I kind of like it. It's bright. It pops. I think it's fitting for the theme. Yep. So we have 3 Caballeros, 2-course challenge on here. Also, I don't know if you can tell, but the logos seem to be bigger. Like they fit across the shirt better than in past years, which is also kind of nice.
Yep. And I just realized something because when we were like speculating about what the shirts might look like, I was wishing it would be a lime green because that was like kind of a color that went with the theme. But I realized they couldn't do a lime green shirt because
he's lime green.
He's lime green and he wouldn't stand out. So I should have known what was coming.
Yep. But those were the race shirts. Any other thoughts from you at the Expo? Anything that you liked or didn't like that we haven't hit?
Well, I think the Expo itself was great. So obviously after you pick up your official race merch, you walk over to the other Expo building. I thought that they had a great offering of like photo ops.
Yes,
they brought in some extra props that you could just take photos by yourself. They still had your like metal posters. They moved them to be around the Wide World of Sports globe, which was, I think, good for flow.
Yeah, I really liked they had a photo op where it was basically a panel with all the logos from the past races.
Yeah, so for
this was really cool.
For the 10 years, they had one for each. So we actually got a really nice, big, wide photo that showed all 10. And then they also had, I believe, patriotic Mickey taking pictures. And they may have had other characters swap with him. I wasn't sure, but that's who I saw when we were there.
Yep, there was some other characters out too. I don't remember who they were, but...
and then they also outside had some kind of like wine and dine, food and wine type backdrops, which are really cute.
My only other thing from the Expo was I feel like even the amount of vendors hasn't scaled back in recent years.
And several popular vendors weren't there. Raw Threads is the one that came to mind. That's a super popular one. I actually ran in Raw Threads for both races this year.
There's not like actual like shoe sponsors there anymore. Right. Usually there's at least one brand there showing off their shoes.
It was just Fit to Run.
Yeah, Fit to Run it was like basically the whole middle row of that whole expo was Fit to Run.
Yeah. So
and I mean they had pretty much any product you would need, but I would like to see some like more companies. I kind of always liked like talking to different companies, getting to engage with some of the brands. And you don't really get that opportunity with like a superstore.
Right. So it was interesting that I know RunDisney leadership has changed over since the last race. So I think there's definitely something going on. We'll see how that plays out in the future races.
Now we're going to move on to the 10K. 10K, it was the Magic Kingdom to Epcot course. Hey guys, so I'm going to hijack this review for just a moment. I was editing it and realized that I never talked about the start of the 10K, which was probably my biggest complaint from the whole weekend. When they did the corrals for the 10K this year, they kind of randomly put people in whatever corral, which is fine, not a huge deal. They don't make you submit a proof of time if you're just running the 10K, but they do typically put it into influence if you're running the challenge. But a lot of people were put into Corral A that were not normally in Corral A, which is fine. I don't have a problem with people wanting to start in the furthest corral up they can. No big deal. However, people thought that they needed to start in the front of Corral A, who were not going to run at the pace that people starting in the front of Corral A were going to start in. So when the 10K started out of Corral A, it was like a gridlock of people who were normally starting at a 5, 6, 7 minute pace behind people who walked off the start. And that wasn't cool. So if you did that, shame on you. Again, I don't care if people wanted to start in the corral they were placed in. That's great. I don't even care that Disney did that. I just think people should have had some more common sense to know that that was going to be an issue. Anyways, back to the video. First 4 miles I thought were really boring, and then the last middle mile and a half was pretty cool, then the last half mile was kind of boring. But the characters on the 10K, and I may be missing one or two, I do apologize, but we had Mary and Bert, Chef Chip and Dale, Daisy. You had Sarge at the hill where he or she this year usually was. There was a girl Sarge, and that was pretty cool.
Yep, so when he ran by, it was a female Sarge, and when I ran by, it was male. The next day, I did see the female, which was really cool.
Yeah, that's funny because it was the male from the next day. There was Carl from Up, Robin Hood, which was probably my favorite like little scene they had. He had like a whole like archery scene set up. The bowler hat guy, Marie, Jiminy, neither of them are particularly new. They're usually out around World Showcase. Lightning and Mater, again, usually out at the races. They don't have to pay a costume character to be there. And then after the finish, they had Chef Minnie and Mickey. They had Chef Donald, Chef Goofy, and Anna and Elsa. I only got a photo with Anna because Elsa wasn't out yet, but it was like a photo op of them together.
Cool.
Yep.
I think you got them all. I do want to say I liked the characters they had out. I thought they were definitely some that were very different, like Robin Hood and the bowler hat guy. And then Carl, I actually don't know if I've seen Carl out for a race before. He very well may have been, but I loved his backdrop. They did a great kind of like camp, like tent themed backdrop for him, like he was out in the wilderness. So that was really cool.
Yep. Did you have any thoughts on the new finish? Now, if you're not aware, because of construction, the RunDisney finishes are no longer down by World Showcase and then out the side to the finish. You now go out around the countries. For instance, the 10K, you went out by Mexico, and it's basically part of the 10K in reverse. If you've ever ran the Epcot 10K loop, you go out by Test Track, and then you go on the cast member entranceway, and then you cut a left, and the finish line was like a quarter mile that way.
You know what? I didn't super mind it. It was definitely different, and it was weird to be so close to the finish, and until you turn that corner, not knowing exactly where the finish line was going to be, because we're so used to that one. Same finish at almost every single race. Or maybe every single race we've ever done. But it was weird. There's definitely something, after doing so many, that feels very special about running that way by the Epcot ball, just knowing where you are and what you're doing. So that was weird. It wasn't terrible. The straightaway from when you turn the corner to the finish is so long.
Yeah.
But that's just probably something that happens in lots of other races that you just have to get used to. So
yeah, it's
I do feel
a 400-meter stretch from when you can see it to the
I will say
finish.
that this finish is more spread out than when you're going the other way, because there's some like on the sidewalks, there would be some plants in the middle. You have to go around, things like that. There weren't as many photographers. There used to be a photographer that would be kind of up near those plants that would get pictures of you. They didn't have that. There's, because of where the finish is, and I hope they don't decide to keep the finish here for this reason specifically, you used to be able to have spectators come kind of all along the finish
this
chute
is probably my biggest complaint about the finish.
And cheer you on. Because of where you're going, one side is construction and fenced off. You can't get there. They have one stand pretty much before the actual finish line that I believe is all cheer squad.
There's one section that you could go to. It was like one set of bleachers was for normies, one set of bleachers was for cheer squad. But it was such a cluster because people were like just kind of hanging out up there, not kind of moving to like when your finisher came through, or they were up there 30 minutes before their person they were cheering on, which is fine. Like, you can be up there. There's nothing to say you can't. But it made it really hard for when you were ready to cheer for someone that you knew was coming in the next, minute or two.
Right.
It was
honestly,
frustrating.
if I was like not racing and trying to watch you, I would get there early so I could see you finish. But when you're racing and you're busy, you can't get there early to see someone. It doesn't work out. So then after, they had spectator viewing for after you were done with the race, but it was kind of awkward, at least when I went through, because no one was really cheering for you. They're kind of just watching you like walk really slowly past medical and stuff. So that's probably the main reason I hope they don't keep that finish once the construction is over. I hope they find somewhere else to, even if it's not the same as the old one, I hope they find somewhere to move it to where they could get some more finish line celebration going there.
Yep, and I have a couple more points, but we'll make it after we talk about the half, just to move into that a little bit. So the half, again, was the Magic Kingdom to Animal Kingdom via the back road, and then you run Osceola to World Drive, and then World Drive to Epcot Resort Boulevard, whatever the road is.
So.
That road there. And then you run Hollywood, the back road of Hollywood to Boardwalk, and then Boardwalk to Epcot, and Epcot to the finish. The characters we had were Russell, Lotso Huggin' Bear, is it Louie?
Louie.
Yeah.
It's Louie.
Louie,
the gator.
Kevin, Timon, Dino Chippendale, Pluto, Vacation Donald, Honest John, and I forget what the other character's name is.
It's, are you talking about from Pinocchio?
Yes.
I think it's Foul Feather.
That might sound right.
And Gideon and Foul Feather. I don't think it's Honest John.
No.
I believe their names are Gideon and Foul Feather. But the cat and the fox,
something like that,
from Pinocchio, which
yep,
were cool characters to see.
Yep. The Beast, Edna Mode, Cheerleader Daisy, Lightning McQueen and Mater, Dopey, and then the Big Bad Wolf. I might be missing a few in there, and these are in no particular order. They were just going through and seeing which ones I could find that were on the course.
I think you got them all.
Yep. And then at the finish, they had Patriotic Minnie and Mickey together, which was really cool. It's a good photo. They had, I believe it was Chef Pluto, Chef Goofy, and Chef Donald as well. So all pretty cool characters to have out at the finish line.
And again, some different ones that I don't recall seeing at other races. There was a girl I was running near who was dressed up like Lotso, like she was Lotso themed.
That's
and
cool.
She was really excited to see Lotso. So that was really, really fun.
Mary and Bert were also out at the same spot.
Same spot near the beginning. That you are correct. Yeah, the characters were great. I will say for both of these races, the weather was perfect.
Yeah, little hot and humid for the 10K. Half was awesome. I would take both of those weathers, though, for that 10K half combo any day, though, because that was quite a delight. The finish kind of that same weird finish that we just talked about for the 10K, but you went out by Norway, so it was a little more backstage time, but not that much different there. One thing I really liked was you got some extra Animal Kingdom time. You used to come out of Pandora and go right to Dino Land, and this year you went around Discovery Island and went back to Asia, and you ran back behind Everest, and then went to Dino Land and ran out that way. Yep,
it was very cool. I loved the Animal Kingdom part. They had a really cool thing in the Animal Kingdom parking lot, which is typically an area that kind of sucks to run, especially when you're in the back of the pack.
Well, and there was a lot of walls in that this time, too.
Yeah, it's construction going on there for something. And they had like a jazz band out there, which was different. They had, keyboards, electric guitars. So that was cool. And you could kind of hear it through a lot of the parking lot. So I appreciated that.
Very cool. One thing I didn't like, they cut the Hollywood part, so you were very in and out of Hollywood, and it was already a park where you kind of ran down the two main roads and were out. But this year you got onto, is it Sunset Boulevard?
I believe so.
You were on it for 30 seconds, and then you cut out the side.
Yeah. At least they still had a photo pass person there, which is because that's always a really nice picture when you're running away from Tower. They did have that there. So that was really cool. One thing that was cool that I do not remember happening in other races, maybe it has. So Hollywood had just opened when I got there, and they were letting runners go up and ride Tower.
Yes, I did see that. That's pretty cool.
Which was really cool. And I do not remember people doing that. I know people ride Everest a lot during the marathon, but I don't remember people riding Tower. So it was cool, and they were kind of, letting people know that they could go do it. So that was cool.
Yeah, very cool. Another thing that I didn't like, this course, opposed to the Magic Kingdom course, tends to have a lot more sharp turns. Mm-hmm. And it seems that just the way that they chose to route it this time had even more. I noted one when you go up the merge ramp. You do 2 hard turns to get onto World Drive, and then you get to the top of that ramp and have to do another hard turn. And it stinks for us, but I was just thinking about like any of the wheelchairs or push ramp.
Yeah, it has to. That
has to stink going up that hill and having to make that turn there.
Yep.
Just lots of like very sharp turnarounds and stuff on this one.
It was pretty good.
Yep.
I don't think there was anything I hated.
The way that they do baggage claim now, or baggage check, you used to do the finish and you go through, you get your snack box medal and whatnot, and then you would have to go through bag check there, and then you would be out where the characters and all of that are, which is great if you're someone who like checks your phone, checks a camera, or whatnot to go and get those pictures. But now you walk out and all the characters are there and the merch and all that's there, but you have to go like another quarter mile out to where like people park to go and do your bag check. And that was kind of a pain.
True, because like typically doesn't like run with his phone or like any of his stuff. So if he wants to buy something or take pictures with his phone, you have to go all the way back there and come back.
Yeah, so that was annoying. I thought that the chute was a little long too, as well. Like after you finished.
Oh yeah, I felt like I was walking forever.
Yeah, it was. So you got your medal right after you finished, and then it was like 100 yards medical, another 100 yards. Here's your towel. Another 100 yards. Here's your water, Gatorade.
One thing I did notice that was different and probably a positive for most people. The picture area after the finish line where you can hold like the I did it sign in front of the RunDisney backdrop, they were actually letting people, if you wanted to meet up with another runner, usually you can't walk backwards in most of these finish shoot areas. They were letting you find your runners past that and come back and take pictures if there was someone you wanted to take a picture with. That's a good point. I
did not realize that.
And they've added a lot more. They had a lot more set up, and they were doing front and back, up to. So they definitely have expanded that area. And I think this finish line setup gave them a little bit more room there to do that.
Yeah, I do think it took away from some of the congregating area, though. I thought that area was rather small compared to what it has been in the past. And that's just all with parts being closed for construction and still needing to park people, this, that, and the other thing.
One thing we did do, we actually did this weekend with some friends of ours. Usually after I'm finished and he's finished, we leave. We don't hang around because he's already hung around for so long. We did grab a drink and stretch and stand there for a few minutes and actually spoke with some other runners, and that was actually cool. So I have never really done that before, and I definitely recommend it. It definitely added to the race experience.
Yeah, there's a lot of really awesome people that you can meet at these events. I've made a lot of friends at these events, so hello.
Yep, and I think I was feeling good and like happy because I PR'd.
Yeah, you did awesome. Okay, so
we're still recovering from our lack of sleep last weekend.
So we should probably talk about these bad boys.
Let's do this one first.
Yep.
All right. Well, we did show the pin, so it's kind of the same thing. But after you run a race, you get medals. This is the 10K. I love this one. It's not my favorite from the weekend, but it has blue glitter around it, and you have Sven and Olaf. The font is really pretty, and what you'll see in all of these medals that's really cool is they have the Epcot ball design in the background. Mm-hmm. So they're really bringing in that Food and Wine Festival theme. Yep,
so you can get a little bit of a closer look there. It'll focus in. I have no control over that from where I'm standing.
You can maybe put some pictures.
Yeah, that might be better. But then we have the half marathon, which is one of my favorite medals, like, overall now. You can see it's got the patriotic band with the 10 years running on it. And then you get this little patriotic Mickey, and he's got this bag of apples on it. And then that is a spinner, and it turns into a little apple pie. Super cute medal. One of my favorites.
Yeah, and I love the blue color. It's like my favorite color, blue.
Yep. And then the challenge medal. Also very cool. Very big and heavy and a lot going on with it.
I think this is my favorite medal from the weekend. I know a lot of people love the half, but I just think this one's so cool.
Yeah. So you got 3 caballeros, and then they all spin on it. And then you also have these little dangle jangles down here, and they basically have each of the race distances. So it has 6.2, 13.1, and then 19.3 down there. Very cool medal. It's got the shape of the Mexico pavilion on it. Only thing that I think I would have changed about this medal is I would have made all of these spinners and taken the dangles off and made it so the characters like spun around and had the distance behind them.
Maybe. People are complaining about these falling off.
Yes, I've seen a lot of people complaining about it.
Which I'm just like, I'm not going to wear my medal around that much to where they fall off. I was very careful the whole weekend we had them here, and then I brought them home and put them in their safe spot. But that would have been a cool design.
Yep. The only other thing I would like to talk about was where we stayed. So we stayed on property. We actually had gotten a cabin at Fort Wilderness. We love Fort Wilderness. We've stayed there for race weekends many times, even tent camping. And we like it. Transportation is always super easy. We had no problems this time.
They had a line of buses waiting for us when we got there in the morning.
Yep.
So.
And honestly, maybe there was like one bus worth of people like there at the start. So we had no problem getting there. It was right close to Magic, which was nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If any race starts in the Magic Kingdom parking lot, Fort Wilderness is a great place to stay because you are so close. It took, I think I timed it the first morning, and I think it was like 6 minutes or something once we started driving. So that was great.
That was awesome.
And then the cabin itself, we had stayed there. We had never stayed in one of those before. It was really nice to have a full kitchen, and it was nice to have our car parked right there and not in a parking lot far away.
Yeah, so if you do come and you're not, you don't have a car, you do have to take the Disney transportation up to the front of
or
the
a golf
resort,
cart
or
if
your
you
golf
rented
cart.
a golf cart.
And then you hop on the bus. So it is convenient having a car there because you can drive yourself up to the front of Fort Wilderness and then hop right on the bus.
Yes, but they do run the internal buses, so don't panic that you have to walk up there. But that was a great place to stay. And then were you planning on talking about the after party?
Oh, yes. I didn't even write anything about the after party. So when we did it last year, we didn't end up staying for the after party because it was rainy and we were cold and miserable.
And it was just us, we can go to Epcot and hang out with each other anytime we want.
But we did take advantage of the party. We stayed till almost
11.
midnight.
I think we were almost midnight because it stopped at 1, and I remember looking at my watch and being like, okay, I don't feel bad about tapping out.
Yeah,
we were really tired.
The party was pretty fun. You could get in at 5 this year, which was pretty cool. So we got in because we had friends who were just using the party tickets, and we made some dinner reservations. We kind of just hung out until the fireworks. Mm-hmm. And then we went and we watched the fireworks from up by Tepanetto, which was a great view.
Yep.
And then we did the party things.
Yeah, we kind of just walked around. We rode Test Track and Soarin'.
Yep, I think we waited maybe 15 minutes for each.
Yep,
it wasn't long at all.
Basically a walk-on. Soarin' was a walk-on. Test Track, we waited a little bit, but nothing terrible. And then we didn't get any, after dinner, we didn't get anything to eat or drink, did we? We didn't.
No, I think we had some coffee and that was about it. We had drinks and stuff at dinner.
Part of the problem was me because everyone else took a nap Sunday before the party and I was not able to fall asleep, so I was pretty dead during the party. Yep. Unfortunately. But I think we still had fun.
It was still fun. They had a ton of cool different characters out there.
They had, who did they have out? They had Remy, they had Mickey Minnie again, they had Bowler Hat Guy again. I was just very excited that they had so much Bowler Hat Guy.
Yep, there was a whole list. I'll put it up here.
And then they had like a dance party going. There were like some cast members who were like maintenance cast members who were just having their own dance party, which was kind of fun to watch.
Yes, that was actually pretty cool. The only thing I didn't like was after, like, when the party actually started, they had like a DJ doing music. And it was all through World Showcase, and it was way too loud. Like, you couldn't talk over it, and it was, like, I was ready to go to, like, Future World and be over where it was quiet, and they were just playing Epcot music.
Right. It was very nice and quiet over in Future World. I was disappointed at the party that maybe they just didn't have any extra merch, but in parties in years past, they've brought extra race merch to the party, and I was actually probably going to buy something if they had it there. I was thinking of buying one of the sweatshirts, kind of like Lake's, but we couldn't find it, so I don't think it was there. They did make a special limited edition jumbo pin that sold out immediately.
Yeah, there was a super crazy line. It wasn't worth it.
Not worth it at all. And they had a special drink that I think all of the food and wine stands had available. Yep. It was about $20. You got to keep the plastic cup that was this big, but a ton of people got it. So
yeah, well, it had like Wine and Dine after party or something like that on it, and then it glowed. So it was cool. Yeah. And it was cool to see like people walking around with it.
So it got you a souvenir, so there, if that's your thing. So it was fun. I think this is the longest I've stayed at a party.
Yeah.
And definitely, I felt like it was very, very festive. I'm excited to try and go back again and hopefully nap and stay the whole time and be hungrier. It was a good time.
All good. Overall, great race weekend. This is one of my favorite weekends. Just a lot of people that I know come and do this weekend, and having friends there with us was also super awesome.
This is going to go down in my memory as probably my favorite race weekend that we've done, I would say.
Yep.
Part of that goes to I actually trained and I was not as sore.
Yeah. But that's going to do it. Our next race weekend is marathon weekend. We're super excited.
I'm so excited.
Yep. So we'll try
What are you running?
I am running the 10K and the full marathon.
The full marathon.
Yep.
I'm not running the full marathon. I'm running the 10K. I'm going to try to train really, really hard and try to get a really good PR at the 10K.
Yeah, she's going to do awesome. So. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell in the corner, all that different jazz. Let us know if you ran the race, what your thoughts on the race was, and just, make sure to drop it in the comments. If you have any questions about race weekends, let us know. And also check out our Run Disney 101 series, where we talk about all the different aspects of doing the Run Disney races and how to get the most out of your weekend. Thanks, guys.
Bye.